Jameis resurrect his career?
Yes, I have no doubt about it, and it's because of maturation. Listen, I've been one of those guys after we talked about Jameis Winston in Tampa to not only identify the talent, but talk about his issue. And obviously it's turning the football over. And I think when he's had a year to sit away from football and watch Drew Brees and watch Sean Payton, not only watching Drew Brees play, but watching a week of preparation, understanding where to go and where not to go. And we saw some of that stuff come up in the preseason, especially in the last game against Jacksonville. I'm not talking about competition. There was a 3rd and 16 when Jameis Winston wanted to turn into old Jameis Winston. And the influence and impact that Sean Payton and Drew Brees had on him made him check the football down and decide, we're going to punt, we'll let her play another possession. That's how Jameis Winston fixed himself. I said this, Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston were never in the same stratosphere as quarterbacks. Like, what are we talking about? This guy, it's harder. What he did was harder in Tampa to do than what most of these quarterbacks are doing on the great side. Jameis Winston threw for 5,100 yards. He threw 30 touchdowns. He was leading the league in explosive passes downfield. And I understand Bruce Arians' offense and no risk it, no biscuit. People say that ad nauseum. Jameis Winston had to learn how to be a quarterback, but he had to learn how to be a quarterback while not being in the fire. And that's what his maturity, his team, his agent, whoever got together and decided, you know what? You're going to go to New Orleans, you're going to sit down for a year or two, and you're going to watch a professional that's done it at the highest level than most people, and you're going to become a better quarterback. And I've already seen that pay dividends for Jameis Winston. Yes, he's going to resurrect his career, and Sean Payton going to see to it that he does.
Okay. Before I make my point, I need clarification.
Uh-huh.
Resurrect his career.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Become a top 10 level starter in the NFL.
Top 10?
Yep.
Yep. Stop.
Okay.
Stop it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, let's talk.
That's ridiculous.
Go ahead and say what you're going to say, and we're going to talk.
Jameis Winston, I'm a fan. I like the kid. And I'm proud of him because he did go and he did sit down behind Drew Brees. And that was a big deal considering he was a 5-year starter in Tampa Bay. I get all of that, okay? And I'm not giving up on him because, again, the 33 interceptions, giving new meaning for 30 for 30. He did do that, but it doesn't negate the fact that he did throw 30 touchdowns and he did pass for 5,000 yards. We can't sniff at that. I understand that, okay? In New Orleans, sit behind Drew Brees. You going to cut down on those mistakes? Maybe. I don't imagine that he'll throw another 30 interceptions. He did have one season where he threw 28 interceptions. He had another season when he threw 22 interceptions. He's thrown 121 interceptions over the course of his career. He is mistake prone, and because he's a guy, thank God he doesn't play for Bruce Arians. Because for Bruce Arians, I mean, no risk at all. I mean, that's the worst coach he could have played for because Jameis Winston has that in his head. That was from his days at Florida State. Okay, that's who he is. He don't mind taking chances. He goes for it. He truly believes in himself, and I got to give him props for that, even though it didn't always work for him. In New Orleans, you've been running this system led by Drew Brees for over a decade.
Yep.
And now your first year going, okay. You don't have Michael Thomas to start off with. We know the friction and all that stuff. Plus, he ain't 100% healthy, which I don't totally absolve Michael Thomas for. I thought he pointed the finger a little bit too much at the organization instead of looking at himself personally. Had to come to Sean Payton's defense for that. How the hell are you going to wait until June to get operated on? And the season ended in January, and you in the midst of $100 million, $20 million a year. Damn it, get it treated. That's just me, but I don't know all the details in fairness to him, so I'll leave that alone. But you still got Alvin Kamara. You got Latavius Murray. I get all of that. Marquez, Callaway, Traquan Smith, they can ball. Yeah. But I'm like, Michael Thomas ain't there.
That's
huge. And on Jameis' best day, he never had the accuracy of Drew Brees. So when you talk to me about top 10, I think you out your mind. Okay. I'm not saying that he a scrub. I'm not trying to disrespect Tony Shane. I'm rooting for him. But top 10?
I got a question for you.
Nah.
I got a question.
Nah, I don't see that.
If Jameis Winston only throws 10 to 12 interceptions, what you think his number's going to look like?
If he only throws 10 to 12 interceptions, I'll tell you he'll pass for about 4,000 yards.
And you don't think he'll be in the top 10 conversation?
Right, but I don't think that's going to happen. I see Jameis
How
Winston.
fixable are the turnovers as a football
do see-
player? Like honestly, because he's got the second most turnovers ever in a player
I see
under the
Jameis
26.
Winston. I see Jameis Winston throwing a minimum of 16 to 18
And Peyton Manning was trending in the direction as well. But remember, when you have an opportunity, and this is what I said in the first, when I was talking about Jameis Winston, he's had an opportunity to learn football. And it manifested. I'm not talking about something that Jameis Winston has been hopeful about. The things that he said he learned has shown up in his play in the preseason.
Okay.
And I'm basing it off of the fact that he's learned how to play the position. It wasn't about Jameis Winston's talent and what he could do as a quarterback. Arm strength, ball placement,
that's
deep
all
ball.
there.
We all know that. Jameis Winston's issue was he thought he needed to do it every play. And what he showed me in the preseason is, you know what, I can take a check down. I can throw the ball out of bounds.
See, here's where I got to chime in with a question because, see, I can't. He got me here. I got to admit, he got me here.
Okay.
Because I can't get on Marcus about this because I don't know his position. Because I never asked him what I'm about to ask him. How much stock do you put in preseason?
I put a tremendous amount of stock in the thought process in preseason. And let me explain. When I see rookies play, all right, let's take Mac Jones, for instance. What we talked about with Mac Jones, do we see it? Is it something that we see? I'm not talking about the defenders he playing. I'm not talking about, is he operating this offense at a high level? We answered that question, yes, right? When we looked at Zach Wilson for the Jets, the things we talked about in the draft, arm strength, live arm, plays under control, we saw all of those things in the preseason. Let's get to Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston was in New Orleans learning how to play the position. It's the conversation we were having when Drew Brees was the starting quarterback. Jameis Winston is the backup. He didn't play. Sean Payton gave Taysom Hill an opportunity to go play. Figured out Taysom Hill ain't that guy.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.